All right, guys, welcome back to another interview on Unhinged. Once again, I'm joined by Nathan Kelly. How's it going?
I'm good, man. Feeling good.
Yeah,
Feeling happy after the win the weekend. So I'm just kind of enjoying the aftermath now, and now I'll get myself back on track again. Then
yeah, that was pretty much my first question. It was a quick night at the office, 2 minutes 45 seconds to be exact. First and foremost, how do you kind of feel about that performance?
to be honest, I'm over the moon with it. It was a really dominating performance. I don't know. I just felt myself on the night, and I felt like everything was gonna go to plan. I believed in everything I was doing, so I just went in with that confidence and stuck to my game plan, and literally everything just fell into place for me. So I literally couldn't have went any better realistically speaking. You know what I mean? It was ESPN slot. I had to step up to the plate. You know what I mean? All that jazz, and I took all that on board, and I still went in and performed like I did. So it's good.
You were going into his home country, and you finished him in front of his home crowd. It was a big fight. A win solidified, that shot on the PFL European Series. Now that is confirmed, how excited are you for 2023?
I'm buzzing, man. As well as that, when you have a clear vision of what's in front of you, you know what I mean? It just, I feel like I tune in better, you know what I mean? And knowing that I had to qualify for this really gave me a good bit of drive. And now that I'm in this and it's a tournament and it's, you know what I mean, there's a European title on the slot and all that jazz, you know what I mean? That just, it's something to aim for, you know what I mean? And I like always having something to aim for, and this is really, this is something good to aim for, and I feel I have the skills and the capabilities to go and get it, you know what I mean? So just, like I said, it's just a matter of me doing it like I know I can, you know what I mean?
Absolutely, and you showcased it in this fight. Ben Ellis was coming off the back of a good win against Nick Bagley. What was you expecting from Ben before coming into the fight?
From what I've seen of him, he was more kind of grappling based. I think he took just from my own perspective, I think he took advantage of his better grappling against bad grapplers. And anyone who was maybe kind of level to him in grappling or was kind of equal, he'd stand and strike with. I didn't see the Nick Bagley fight up until like literally the morning of the fight. When the lads got up on Fight Pass, I watched that and I was like, okay, right. He was willing to stand and let his hands go. So I just thought, like, I put a lot of work into me striking over the last 2 years since I joined SBG. I know I have knockout wins and all that jazz because they're kind of quick ones, but I really put a lot of work into me boxing and me striking in general since I came back to MMA, and I felt like every fight ended so quick, so I didn't really get a chance to show how well timed, like all my good timing and just me boxing skills and stuff like that. So this fight, I knew he was going to be tough, and I was like, fuck it, he's going to stand in front, he's not going to move his head. Let's show the boxing skills I like, and I just went out with that confidence, knowing how hard I worked on me boxing, and I just thought I just felt too good, man. I mean, I don't know what it was. It just felt like no one was beating me on that night. You know what I mean? So that's the way I've been fighting lately. I've been fighting with that confidence. So I just need to keep doing it and step by step, getting better as a fighter every fight. You know what I mean?
You started very quick. We talked about it before we went on air. You started very quick. Within like 10 seconds, you had him up against Cage. He was covering up. It seemed that the striking, it seemed to connect every time. As you talked about his head, he didn't really get off the center line. What was the reasoning for starting quick? Did you see that obviously Ben was maybe a slow start?
Yeah, sometimes in his fights he'd kind of always lose the first round and then win the second and third. Obviously, I don't know. That's kind of like the pattern that I saw. So I just thought I'd just come out quick because I know I'm the type of fighter, I don't need to feel out for fucking 5 minutes. You know what I mean? Once I feel my range is in a good spot and I'm on balance, I'm gonna start unloading. You know what I mean? So once I'm in that little bit of balance and have that balance through my feet and I feel comfortable, then I'm gonna work. I don't need to feel out and stuff. Once I can land, I'll throw, and that's what I was doing.
You was walking forward, hunting him down, and it just seemed like you were bullying him a little bit. To me, it seemed like there was an evident power and size advantage. Did you kind of feel that?
I didn't really feel it like I had a power and size advantage per se. I was just know how much power I have. You know what I mean? So I was just not thinking about his and just focusing on mine. And like doing what I do really well, really good. You know what I mean? So once I do what I do well, good, they will have a hard time defending it. You know what I mean? Because I'm sharp. So that's all I was really thinking about. Like I felt strong in there. Anyway, I always feel strong. I always kind of spar bigger lads anyway. So I'm used to sparring stronger, kind of tougher guys. So especially in grappling and stuff, I've done it all my life. So I know what it's like to spar someone who's a bit stronger. So and fight someone who's stronger. But I felt just as strong as him, just as powerful as him. I felt more powerful than him. You know what I mean? Felt like on the night I don't know, it's just accurate. I could see his head, and I was just, if I missed the first punch, the second, third, and fourth, we were going to hit him. So I was just on in volume, and it worked out for me in the end.
Yeah, obviously it was a fantastic performance. You came out like a battle, like a hell, as I talked about. Obviously training out of SBG Ireland. How did the camp go? What was there anything that you working on for this fight?
Camp went well. This was my 5th fight in a year, so I've been literally just gone from camp to camp to camp to camp. You know what I mean? So I don't feel like I ever lost sharpness. You know what I mean? Because I was out a lot. I fought like 5 weeks ago or 6 weeks ago, and I was straight into this camp straight away. So it was the same. I just look after my body, make sure that because I've been training for so long, so intense for this amount of time. You know what I mean? I just need to look after my body, and once my body was fresh and I can still train like consistently, I'm just sharp. You know what I mean? Just naturally sharp. So I actually took a bit of. Funny enough, I actually didn't. We normally do simulation spars just to like prepare you for like the style of fight or whatever. So you normally pick someone who kind of has that style or whatever. I didn't do one for this fight. I actually didn't do one. I just did drills, did like kind of rounds and heaps of pads. I think pads was really good for me for this, just to break away from the kind of intense sparring all the time. So I just do a few rounds of pads with more like kind of simulated styles. So what about game plan, like stuff we're going to be putting into the game plan. Sorry, I meant to say, and just did a lot of that, and I think it was a big part to play and how the results went the way it did. So I like the camp. I actually really enjoyed this one.
I know I've talked about the finish quite a lot, but obviously 2 minutes and 45 seconds, a very, very quick finish. Did you expect the finish to come quickly before coming into the fight?
No, I actually didn't, being honest with you. He's a tough bastard outright. Like, that's one thing I will say. I hit him hard on the night, in fairness, and he was still fighting right up until the choke went in. Like, he was pulling the hand, and there was no quitting him. You know what I mean? He just got caught. Like, it was just the way it is. But he didn't make it easy for me, even when he was in the worst positions. You know what I mean? So you have to give a lot of respect to that. And but yeah, I didn't know. I thought it was, you always dream of these fights going super smooth, 4th round finish, but realistically, you might be in the 3-round war at the back of it all. So I don't know. I just took advantage of how I was feeling on the night, and it paid off in the end, and I ended up getting the finish. Like, it's a little bonus, and it feels like when you know you're good enough to finish in the 4th round, means you're sharp from the off. You know what I mean? And I have like the 6 of me wins now are 5 4th round finishes. So I proved that I can bring that sharpness on the night. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm just enjoying it now. And I mean, all the hard work I've been putting in, it's like that was it. Like because like I went from striking, grappling, back to striking into like a kind of jiu-jitsu thing. I showed kind of all my skills in the 3 or so minutes that was there. So I feel real like that. It makes you feel good that I can show all that. You know what I mean? So because I always wanted to show people that I'm a complete mixed martial artist. I can do it all kind of style thing. You know what I mean? So I think that really helped me show that. Like,
to be honest, it felt like you seemed immortal that night. You should have walked out to Hulk Hogan. That would have been fitting. It seemed like you were immortal. I don't know what it was. You seemed like immortal, and I don't know. I thought, what was the mindset? Obviously, what type of music do you listen to? Because I might need some, because you looked really good that night.
Oh man, it's not even the music. I just, you know what? I just this is a mad one, right? I just do it all the time. You know, whenever I'm fighting, right, I'll just be I don't know, I'll just be in the room by myself or something, and I'll be sitting there and I'll be talking to myself. Like, I mean, I'll be like, hey, you're a fucking animal. You're a bleeding animal. Man. You know what I mean? And then I'll hype myself up a bit, and then I'll be saying, like, you're not letting this fella take anything from you. You know what I mean? I'll go proper skip mode. I do, and then once I'm in that mode, I'm prepared. You know what I mean? So I just have a mad way of switching that on. You know what I mean? I'm chill normally, but I can turn that on when I need it as well. You know what I mean? So. That's not how I get myself hyped up.
So maybe I should talk to myself a little bit more then.
yeah, I don't know. Let the bad angel out a bit more. You know what I mean? Let him out. When it comes to fighting, you're gonna have to. So yeah, I'd
Yeah,
say just let the bad angel take over for the few hours. You know what I mean?
yeah, that's 6 back-to-back wins now. Where does this run rank?
This has to be top of the list, man. This is fucking man. The way I performed, how sharp I was, the stage I was on, my PFL debut, qualifier fight. You know what I mean? It's like pressure. Then I put on the ESPN slot, pressure. You know what I mean? So it's like, I didn't really see it as pressure. I saw it as more motivation because I wasn't meant to be on the ESPN slot, and then like I just got told that I was, and then I was walking around Cardiff like fucking buzzing. You know what I mean? I was like, right, I'm gonna bring it now, and that just, I don't know what it was. It was like I knew it was a chance that I had to take properly. You know what I mean? And like just to come out like I did and put on a good fight like I did. You know what I mean? It means a lot to myself because I know that's what I was always capable of doing, and I just like I always wanted a nice stage to show it, and I got my stage, and so it feels good, man.
Obviously, fighting out of Ireland, going to Cardiff, fighting him in his home crowd, home country, and finishing him. I'm sure that put a little smile on your face after.
It did. Now I don't want like see the viewing and all. I think it's gas. You know what I mean? Because like before I walked out, I was like, hope these boo me real loud. You know what I mean? Because I didn't mind walking out.
They weren't too loud.
What's it?
Yep. I said the crowd weren't too loud, so it
wasn't too intimidating. You know what I mean? I was like, right.
It's not like the Irish crowd.
I could hear my family. I brought like 20 odd people with me. You know what I mean? So I could hear them as well. So that's all I needed. You know what I mean? But
if the PFL,
I'm kind of used to fighting. I think I'm from Dublin. I never really fight in Dublin. I've always fought in the enemy territory, even in Ireland in the regional scene. So it's not really new. I don't really give a shit about all. That's all just theatrics at the end of the day because I get into a fist fight fucking 2 minutes later. So I just enjoy it for what it is and then switch on then again. You know what I mean?
The PFL missed a trick, well and truly. The PFL should have came to Dublin, and then they definitely would have heard the crowd. The PFL, the Ireland crowd is different.
Ireland crowd is deadly. I'd love them to come over here and put on a show because the atmosphere is electric. You know what I mean? And I'd love to be on it. I'd just love to be on a show in front of the hometown crowd again. You know what I mean? Because the feeling you get when the atmosphere is that good, and you know what I mean. Your family, your friends are there. People who from your area are there to see it. It's a good feeling, you know what I mean? And if I can put on a show like that again, consistently throughout the promotion, it'll be good, you know what I mean? I reckon I'll gain a lot more fans then as well, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you talked about this fight being on a big slot on the ESPN. You've been on a big show before. You've been on Bellator. But how did this one feel different leading up? Did it feel like a little bit more bigger? Obviously, fighting on the PFL and maybe on equal same stage as Bellator now.
Do you know what? I felt more like obviously there's a bit more of a pressure because it's the whole title of you're fighting for a place in this, you know what I mean? So as opposed to me just having one fight and like nothing coming or going after, you know what I mean? Whereas with this one, it's like you have to win this to get into this, and when you win this one, you can go into this one, you know what I mean? So it gives like you just have that pressure on you, you know what I mean? And I think that's what I need, you know what I mean? And I just you're fighting for like a kind of a bit of status every time, if that makes sense. And I'm happy to try rise up through the ranks there, you know what I mean?
And you talked about it there. Now you got a big 2023 coming out. You 5 fights, if I'm correct. You like to stay active. How does that sound?
Yeah, I like to stay active. So I think the way this is working is like they do 8 months on season, 6 months off season. So when this season is over, there'll be 6 months off season, and they'll be back then 8 months time. So I think they said the first quarter of 2023. So hopefully it'll be a Dublin one. I don't know. I have no info on it, but hopefully it'll be a Dublin one. And if not, I don't really give a shit. I just want to be fighting, and I think it's 4 fights then to win the whole thing. So I'll be 4 fights away from a few bob. You know what I mean? So in my head, that's what I'm coming for.
Actually, go back to I missed the question. Go back to the fight in Cardiff, the Wales. How did you celebrate? I know the Irish like a little bit of a beer. Was there a beer drunk?
A bit of drinking, yeah. I didn't go too mad in fairness. I went for a dinner after and had a few drinks and stuff like that. But went out with the PFL crew, so they it was nice to meet new people and talk to new faces and just mingle a bit. You know what I mean? Because it's you're locked in the camp for so long. And then I was talking to Kenny Florian and stuff like I thought, oh, it was deadly. I was talking to Kenny Florian about life and stuff, and he was telling me some good stories, and I was telling him stories about like stuff from Ireland and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And he'd be like, I know talking about MMA, and I was talking for ages. He's a fucking legend. He is. He's proper sound fella. Like, so I thought that was fucking deadly. I would have looked at him growing up. Do you know what I mean? On the telly and shit. And next while I just sitting beside him having a conversation with him as if you know my life. You know what I mean? So thought that was deadly. But yeah, man, it was just a good night in general. You know what I mean? I didn't even need to have a drink to celebrate. I was just happy with how it went. You know what I mean?
Perks of the jobs are, I mean, it's only up from here. You're only going to meet them sort of people from now on. And obviously, Kenny Florian, that you talked about, been there and done it inside the UFC. I'm sure he, maybe shined down some knowledge, some experience.
Yeah, he just gave me some. I asked him, I goes, what advice have you got? And he was just saying, don't be sparring too hard now to the head and stuff like that. Make sure you look after yourself. Don't get into too many wars in the gym, all that stuff. So he just gave me some just stuff like some tips for daily life as well, just the little improvements and stuff like that. So just he's been there and done it. You know what I mean? So I'd like to ask out those who've been there and done it, and get their advice, because obviously they're gonna learn stuff on their journey that they can pass down to us from like do's and don'ts. You know what I mean? So I'll always ask stuff like that to likes of them boys. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. My last question. Obviously, you talked about 8 months and 6 months off. From now on to the next fight, what is you got anything planned? Maybe go on holiday.
I wanted to go on holiday, yeah, but I don't know. I feel I haven't trained in 4 days and I'm going off my marbles. You know what I mean? I actually don't even think I can go on a holiday at the minute because of how much time I feel like I'm wasting already. You know what I mean? That's the way my mind is, man. I'm actually mental. You know what I mean? Sometimes I actually need to tell myself to calm down. You know what I mean? But no, I'm just mad to get back training already. Just get back to work. You know what I mean? It's literally all I love doing it. You know what I mean? It's not something I feel like I have to do. You know what I mean? I love doing this, and that's just the perks of it. When you love it and you're doing it, the journey is just much sweeter. You know what I mean? And you don't have to hold my hand to bring me to train. I'll just go. It's taking me away from it can be a bit of a handle sometimes. You know what I mean? But it just keeps me in the best routine I need to be in, and without it, then I start like eating more food and getting a bit heavier and stuff like that. So I just like to keep myself on track all the time, and I think now I'll be back to the gym tomorrow.
All right, go in there. So one quick one before I let you go. Actually, what's your favorite post-fight meal? Where is it you go to?
It's hard to you don't really go out for a meal. You know what I mean? Normally you just end up on the drink or whatever like that, and it just goes. Plus you've had.
Just see where it goes.
It just goes arseways. You know what I mean? But, yeah. No, I'd say I just like a good takeaway. Just like it, because I don't know what it is. I just like a good takeaway, a little chippy or something. You know what I mean? Like something real greasy. You know what I mean? And just something that I've deprived myself of for 6 weeks. So I normally go with something like that, or else like a Chinese or something, or else even if I'm under, I go pizza. Do you know what? I have so many varieties that I switch between from fights. So, I'd say chippy would be top of the list though, 100%.
Absolutely fantastic, Nathan. It's been a pleasure for joining me. I wish you the best luck in 2023. I'm sure you're going to smash it.
Thanks very much, man, and I appreciate you having me on. 100% legend.